It is Sunday, the 25th of January. I'm in front of the Unitarian Church of Montreal. Just had a most interesting conversation with John Inder, the president of the Unitarian Church of Montreal. He came out here with a DSLR camera asking if he could ask me some questions. And I said, fine, I'm always open to questions. I may, for whatever reason, not answer them, but I usually do. And, he tried to make a case that my picket signs were unfair, slanderous, and so on. Totally disregarding what they're actually about. Trying to say, well, because Reverend Mac W. Mitchell was convicted and went to jail, there was no cover-up. Well, he's wrong. There was an attempted cover-up at the time before Reverend Mac Mitchell was charged with rape. The Unitarian Universalists in the concerned church, or most likely the UUA, attempted to have the girls sign confidentiality agreements to keep everything hush-hush, in which case, if they'd signed confidentiality agreements, and had not reported the rapes to the police, well, that would have been the end of that story and nobody would have ever known. But what happened is a few members of the church, I believe 5 or so, upon being told what was going on by the victim or victims, decided the best thing to do was to report the alleged rapes to the police, and in doing so they sabotaged the efforts by other Unitarian Universalists to cover up and hide everything by having the girls sign confidentiality agreements. I haven't actually blogged about that, but I think in the wake of John Inder's attempt to spin things today, I think it's time to blog about it. I've been meaning to do so for some time. I have a newspaper article that clearly indicates what happened, clearly shows that the members of the church that did report the rape that Reverend Mac W. Mitchell was subsequently found guilty of, were ostracized by their church. They in fact, were treated quite badly by the other church members.
Are you trying to cover up the fact that you did that? What? Are you trying to cover up the fact that you did that?
I'm trying to cover up what?
What sign you're holding?
You're being silly, my dear, because this is about the UUA covering up pedophilia and rape, and if you want to bury your head in the sand, be my guest. But if you care to practice Principle 4, you will engage in a free and responsible search for the truth and meaning of my picket signs. So yes, another idiotic Unitarian Universalist in total denial of what's on my picket signs. He's trying to say, like, I'm trying to cover something up? Well, no, not at all. I'm exposing the fact that the Unitarian Universalist Association is guilty of cover-up and denial of such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. In terms of my own personal situation, the UUA has falsely accused me of the criminal act of blasphemous libel for allegedly making unfounded and vicious allegations to the effect that ministers of the association engage in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape in an effort to intimidate me into removing blog posts about convicted pedophiles and rapists. So these people were convicted. There's nothing unfounded about my blog post, is there? And 2.5 years after that accusation was made, I have yet to be charged with the criminal act of blasphemous libel, and I'm quite certain that it will not happen because the premise was completely false. I have not made any unfounded vicious allegations about Unitarian Universalist ministers engaging in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. I've only made very truthful ones that are supported by newspaper articles and so on. So this is what I'm alleging. I'm saying that the Unitarian Universalist Association and congregations try to get rid of online evidence of these things. I mean, these people are convicted. This is the ludicrous thing, is like they're accusing me of blasphemous libel in an effort to remove blog posts about people who are actually convicted. So, you know, they don't even want people to know that certain ministers have actually been convicted of crimes. They're you know, even after the conviction, they want to keep it a secret, keep it out of the public eye as much as possible. So that is what these picket signs are about. They're specifically about the misuse of Canadian blasphemy law to try and cover up and hide the fact that Reverend Mac W. Mitchell did in fact rape teenage Tibetan refugees, and that Richard Buell, a parishioner of First Parish Norwell, not to the best of my knowledge a Unitarian Universalist minister, was convicted of raping preteen girls, including a neighbor's daughter and a female family member who was most likely a granddaughter or grandniece in consideration of the age difference. He was 50-something at the time of the rapes, and the girls were somewhere between 6 and 12 years old. It's not absolutely clear, but no older than 12 and possibly as young as 6 when the rapes took place, according to the newspaper articles that I've read. And so this is the crazy thing, is that the UUA, in an effort to intimidate me into removing blog posts that told the truth about Reverend Mac W. Mitchell and Richard Buell, actually had the unmitigated gall to falsely accuse me of the crime of blasphemous libel in legal bullying that was clearly intended to have me take down those blog posts, which of course I have not done. Let's see where we're going with this. Getting back to cover-up, well, that's by no means the only cover-up. You know, I'm sure there's cover-ups I don't even know about, many of them actually, based on what I've seen in terms of just how much clergy sexual misconduct there is. We can be quite sure that there's been quite a bit of cover-up. Now, I'm broadening things out here a bit, talking about broader clergy sexual misconduct. As far as pedophilia and rape go, well, that's another story. It's not every case of clergy sexual misconduct that is actually involving rape or pedophilia, and I would expect that to be a minority of the cases of sexual misconduct. They generally are cases of a minister having an affair with congregants' wives or husbands or whatever. Ministers making unwanted sexual advances to congregants and so on. So not exactly pedophilia and rape. But nonetheless, there have been cases of pedophilia. There have been cases of rape. In some cases, ministers were charged, tried, convicted, went to jail. I think it's fair to say that, for every case where the minister was charged, tried, convicted, went to jail, there's probably a few where they weren't charged, weren't tried, and thus did not go to jail, just in terms of statistics. But the UUA does in fact... Hello?
He's here again.
I'm here fairly regularly, yeah.
You're very determined.
Yes, I'm very determined. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
Okay, thank you. You see the 104 pass?
I didn't notice, actually. I really don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, I was distracted. The president of the church came out and we had a nice chat. So,
Okay.
so I was busy. Yeah. Anyhow.
You was busy as a bee.
I was busy as a bee. That's right. As busy as a bee in a person's bonnet. Because I was a bee in his bonnet, I think.
His bonnet.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, busy as a bee in a bonnet. I think I'll keep. I think I'll have some.
The honeybee, you know the honeybee?
Yeah, yeah. Or as Muhammad Ali used to say, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Yeah.
I think I stung like a bee today.
But
But
he's sickly now. He's very sick.
he's been sick for a long, long time. I don't know his current condition.
Yeah. And I heard he was hospitalized.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I wish him well, and
He held his deteriorating.
yes, you know. Well, what is it? Is he has Parkinson's? Is that what it is, or? Ah, there you go. Yeah, good talking to you. Yeah, yeah. There you go. See you later. So, just had a nice little chat there, and yes, busy as a bee in a bonnet. That's pretty good. I was certainly in John Inder's bonnet today, and it's not like I, went after him. He came out here to ask me questions. Fine by me. I don't mind him asking questions. And it's really funny. Like a couple of times he accused me of refusing to answer them. Well, no, I was actually answering them in more detail than he wanted. He was trying to spin things in a certain way, and I was trying to point out to him, well, yes, that's true, and that's true, and that's true, but there's more to the story than you're talking about it, and here's the rest of the story. Oh, well, when I started talking about the rest of the story, all of a sudden, he didn't want to know about it. So that's typical of John Ender, trying to give the sanitized version of the facts. Just as the UU World Magazine did recently. The UU World Magazine recently gave a sanitized version of the Mac Mitchell story in an article about Unitarian Universalist clergy sexual misconduct. Now, the article itself, which is in the winter issue of the UU World Magazine, the most recent issue, I'm not exactly sure when it came out. I think it might have come out as early as November of 2014. It's certainly available now in January. The article, I must say, was pretty good. I give the UU World editorial staff about an 8